All just feels very different. It feels very final now. It feels like it's actually happened.
Yeah.
As Britain's King Charles made his first address to the nation following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth, the country's longest reigning monarch, some in the large crowd gathered outside Buckingham Palace on Friday offered their reviews.
He was composed, emotional.
Very human, I thought.
Yeah.
Mama, papa, that kind of language, always nice to hear.
I think he did a great job. I think, he's coming into a big responsibility. And having a big responsibility like this, he's going to have to be very regal about how he speaks, and he did a great job,
Obviously, every British person has grown up with the Queen, so it's going to be a really big change.
Meanwhile, regulars at the Queen Elizabeth pub in Walworth, South London, gave a more mixed reaction as they watched the King's address Friday evening.
I mean, I think with all the age range, I do think that it's going to be sort of a lot of tax money going into changing a lot of stuff, and then, he's kind of old himself. So, it's just, William should have got it, in my opinion, just economy-wise, later on in the long run, not having to change things back again. But, yeah, I think he can do some good. He can't do any worse. So, yeah, good luck to him.
I think it was good. I think it was nice and all that. I hope he does well. But if you want my honest opinion, I would have rather seen William be there and not him be on there.
King Charles paid a heartfelt tribute to his late mother during the speech and vowed to serve with loyalty, respect, and love. He will officially be proclaimed king on Saturday at a meeting of the Accession Council at St. James's Palace, followed by proclamations across the nation.
From selfies to social media posts, the death of this monarch has been mourned in a modern way. Confirmation that Queen Elizabeth had passed away on Thursday came in a Twitter post, eclipsing the traditional notice later pinned to palace gates. Mourners have turned to technology and their phones to pay tribute to Britain's longest reigning monarch. As with her father, King George VI's death, floral tributes were left outside her official residences. But in addition to candles, mourners lit up their phones. Portraits of Elizabeth were posted on billboard screens in central London's Piccadilly Circus and the city's Canary Wharf financial district. Little surprise perhaps for a queen who has embraced the modern age across her 7 decades of service. Her sense of fun saw her taking part in TV skits for the London Olympic Games in 2012, and then a decade later for her Platinum Jubilee. New Prime Minister Liz Truss on Friday paid tribute to her power of reinvention.
She reinvented monarchy for the modern age. She was a champion of freedom and democracy around the world. She was dignified but not distant. She was willing to have fun, whether on a mission with 007 or having tea with Paddington Bear. She brought the monarchy into people's lives and into people's homes.
Britain and the monarchy have undergone dramatic change since 1952, when Queen Elizabeth acceded to the throne. Particularly so in the last 20 years, with the backing of a professional and sophisticated media operation. There was still the pomp and pageantry, but also less formality around her and her family. If the scenes at Buckingham Palace on Friday are anything to go by, it's a formula her son and successor King Charles will follow. He was greeted by a throng of well-wishers and spent a full 10 minutes shaking hands and sharing the moment. Queen Elizabeth won praise for guiding the monarchy into the 21st century amid often turbulent times and challenges about its legitimacy. King Charles has the difficult task of ensuring her legacy and securing the institution's future.
As with everyone, she was kind of like a grandmother. Her warmth, her candor, her dignity. She was just felt like a family member. And so I kind of feel like everyone else feels, like she was like my grandmother or my great-grandmother. Her presence, you know, every time I saw her, it was like, the queen, the queen, the queen. So yeah.
For me, she represented like a beacon of hope through tough times. Really for all of us, I read 90% of us were born through her reign, so she's really impacted a lot of lives.
I respect her. She's loved. She is a example of how we should all be. She was kind. She was tough when she had to be, but she had a sense of humor. She was kind. She was a person.
I speak to you today with feelings of profound sorrow. Throughout her life, Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family. And we owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding, and example. Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, a promise with destiny kept, and she is mourned most deeply in her passing. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today. Alongside the personal grief that all my family are feeling, we also share with so many of you in the United Kingdom, in all the countries where the Queen was head of state, in the Commonwealth and across the world, a deep sense of gratitude for the more than 70 years in which my mother, as Queen, served the people of so many nations. As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation.
U.S. stocks rallied on Friday, capping off their first weekly gain in 4 weeks as investors went on a buying spree and shrugged off concerns about the economic outlook. The Dow rose 1.2%, the S&P gained 1.5%, while the Nasdaq jumped more than 2%. Investors are awaiting August's Consumer Prices Report, or CPI, out on Tuesday for signs that inflation may be easing. Wells Fargo economists are predicting just that, as they expect headline inflation will log its steepest monthly decline since the peak of the health crisis in April of 2020. Christian Ledoux, director of investment research at Cap Trust, says that even a flat reading for consumer prices would be a good sign for the Federal Reserve as it aims for its goal of 2% inflation.
Last month, we had a flat month to month. I'm sure everyone heard Biden say that we had no inflation on a month to month basis last month. And it would be great for all of us if we saw a slight dip on a month to month basis. But that's not really necessary to see the year over year change get better. So if we just stayed flat here for a while, we would actually see 2% inflation sometime early next year.
Tech and growth stocks led the gains Friday, with Amazon and Microsoft both ending higher. Shares of Kroger jumped after the grocer raised its annual forecast. And luxury handbag maker Tapestry, owner of Coach and Kate Spade, also rose after the company said it expects revenue of $8 billion by fiscal year 2025.